So the question you might be asking yourself, should you even spend time in Phnom Penh? I was a bit apprehensive about it, having been here about 15 years ago and not having the best experience. So we're going to be checking out some of the top-rated sites and restaurants, as well as the most significant places in the city, and letting you know what we think. Is this city worth it?
First up, we booked a giant Ibis bus from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh. They picked us up from our hotel. The ticket cost $28 each and included water and a snack.
1 hour to go.
The seats were comfortable enough, and it took about 6 hours including a food stop.
We stayed at an awful hotel near Bassac Lane that was super convenient to hit up the restaurants but incredibly noisy.
Our first night we hit up Wild. We'd already eaten at their Siem Reap location. You can check out our review of it here. And it was equally good before getting an early night.
We've just come back from the S21 prison as well as the killing fields. We didn't really film much today. I honestly don't think it's appropriate to take a lot of footage. I'm glad we went, and I would encourage anyone who comes to Cambodia to visit those places. I know some people are really hesitant to go because you're on holidays, you're on vacation, but I think it gives you a much better understanding of the places you're visiting and the people that you're interacting with. The memorials that they've set up are truly beautiful and incredibly sad. So I'll leave you with the footage that we did take. As I said, it was extremely minimal, and if you do come to Cambodia, please visit. Just a few logistical things about today. The S21 prison was $5 US per person, and then another $5 for the audio guide, which was really informative. There wasn't too much information there, so if you're not familiar with what's happened, I definitely recommend getting the audio guide. At the killing fields, the entrance was $6, and that just included the audio guide regardless if you wanted it or not. That audio guide was actually really interesting. It was much more simplified than at the prison. We also just got tuk-tuks out and just ordered them on Grab. We're finding if you're happy to wait the few minutes for a Grab, it's actually much cheaper. So for example, from S21 to the killing fields, the drivers there were saying $10 for the tuk-tuk, whereas on Grab we could get it for $5. And then the driver just asked us if we wanted him to wait, and he just added like an extra $2.50 fee to wait, which was well worth it.
After an emotionally draining day yesterday, we decided to spend our second day seeing the top-rated sites in Phnom Penh. We dropped into our favourite coffee stand, mostly because it was down the street from our hotel, for a condensed milk iced coffee. We liked this one because they specifically checked how sweet you wanted it. If we were to come back to Phnom Penh again, we would probably try to book a tuk-tuk for the day instead of trying to persevere with walking around the city.
We headed first to the statue of His Majesty, a memorial to the former King Sihanouk, who also held the position of Prime Minister and Head of State at different times in Cambodian history. He led Cambodia to independence from the French in 1953 and attempted to maintain neutrality during the Vietnam and American War. And then to the Independence Monument, a lotus-shaped stupa memorialising Cambodia's independence. Both offer great views of each other, but there is a difficult crossing to get between them.
From there, we went to the waterfront and walked the length to the presidential palace before jumping into a tuk-tuk to the central market. In this Art Deco style market building, you'll find the usual fake bags, watches and sunglasses. Fairly similar to most other major cities in Southeast Asia. What was most fascinating was the food market outside, with outdoor grills, ice deliveries, as well as fresh flowers for Valentine's Day.
We're here at Wat Phnom in Phnom Penh.
Built in 1373, this Buddhist temple translates to mountain pagoda, although hill pagoda would probably be more accurate. It's going to cost you $1 to enter, and you'll need to wear long pants and have shoulders covered, and it's set in a lovely little park. We'll also add a Google Maps link for everywhere we went today, and you can find that in the description below.
If you're a wildlife enthusiast, keep your eye out for hornbills at Wat Phnom. While quite sad to see this one foraging in a bin, it is a good sign that they're beginning to be seen again in the city.
We've been pretty complimentary of Phnom Penh so far, and we had high hopes for our lunch spot. But unfortunately, David's noodles didn't really live up to the hype. While it's super cool that they literally make the hand-pulled noodles in front of you to order, our food was fairly average, especially for the price, with 2 plates and 2 juices costing about $13.50.
We ended the day at Mama Wong's for Chinese-style dumplings. This was honestly so delicious, we wish we could go back a second time.
That is definitely the duck and the sweet potato. I don't know what's going on with this sauce, but it's got a delicious liminess to it. And I'm struggling finding the words, except delicious.
I'm glad we spent time in Phnom Penh. While it doesn't have the same modern vibe as Bangkok or the historical feeling like Hanoi, it's an evolving city that will continue to grow as the country rebuilds. However, I would recommend staying closer to the presidential palace and using tuk-tuks to get around.
Overall, we'd call Phnom Penh an underrated city, and a place well deserving of a few days in your itinerary. In our next video, we're going to one of the best places in Cambodia. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.